Breathe in joy and anticipation. Breathe out all your worries and concerns. Welcome to WOW Season 12. We appreciate you all being here for what should be proved to be our best WOW yet. I am Cindy Walker, and we want to thank Bishop Curtis L. Jones and Pastor Vicki Jones of New Life and Spirit Revival Center for understanding the vision and helping us bring this one-of-a-kind production to you tonight. Please take a moment to silence your electronics. Thank you. Here comes Thasia now to start.
They said this couldn't be done. They said these issues didn't need a voice. WOW was put into my heart and I had no choice. WOW, women of word with a few man-made words, will rock your world and knock your socks off. These poems, songs, stories, and music come from our hearts and souls. Often it seems the higher power is in control. So I suggest you relax, open your heart and mind for our messages, sometimes tough or kind, seeping in between the cracks in your armor. Thank you for being here tonight. I love you guys.
And now we will learn what Daryl believes.
I believe in the Lord God Almighty.
Requires you to come out.
I believe that the only way to improve yourself is to be responsible for yourself. I believe that if you are in a place that is not to your advantage, you should take advantage of the place where you are. I believe that no matter how much I disagree or even dislike what you say or believe, I would die defending your right to say or believe.
He's out there now.
I believe that knowledge is power. I believe you can only be happy after you realize that you can be. I believe that what you are does not determine who you are. I believe that life happens when you're not paying attention, but living happens when you are. I believe you won't know who you are until you understand who you were. I believe that love is a gift. Give it freely, accept it gracefully, cherish it heartily, and return it soulfully in the same aspect of that love. I believe that people suck, but that makes them worth loving. I believe that respect should be given and earned. I believe that I need someone to make me happy, we'll both be miserable. I believe that faith is inedible. It will happen to everyone for something sometime. I believe you are dying every day, so live every day until you die. I believe that life can suck, but that makes the alternative will be much worse. I believe that no matter what I am who I am. And I believe that when you forget how to smile, laugh like a child, you forget how to feel like an adult.
Thank you, Daryl. Now we will delve into some sobering facts. In 2022, around 49,500 people died by suicide, according to the CDC, which is the highest number ever recorded. Since social media was introduced, some people have taken their lives as a result of cyberbullying, which led to an increase in suicide rates among teenagers from 2010 to 2022. The New York Times delved deeply into one specific website, which provides methods, encouragement, and even pressure to commit suicide. Investigative journalist Megan Toohey co-reported the story, which serves as a cautionary tale for those who find these sites while they're looking for support, and for families of young people who don't realize their loved ones may have landed in some of the darkest places on the internet.
I don't want to hurt anymore. To suffer in silence, crying uncontrollably as my body convulses. And no matter what I do, all I can think about over and over is things will never get any better. You will never change. And this world will be so much better if you weren't in it.
I understand. I've worked so hard. I've helped everyone. Where are they now? I just can't catch a break. Life can be so hard, and it is no bowl of cereal. I worked 70 hours a week, and it was never enough. I cried myself to sleep, and no one cares. I asked for help, and my boss laughed. Everyone is too busy. No one cares. And what is the purpose? What is my purpose? No one would even miss me if I was gone.
That moment when it is your last stand, surprisingly, with a sigh, a deep breath, and you prepare for your end. Life's woes all around you. You can fight your way out of the corner, but repeated attempts to fight back in times past left you weak and too tired to try this time.
Oh.
Just then, you look up and you pray to God in heaven, and suddenly clarity comes to you. Wait a minute. You're staring at the sky. The sky has no boundaries. The sky has no limits. God has no limits. Space is unlimited. Instead of meeting your demise, thinking this is your end, this is just your beginning.
Duck, duck, goose.
That is asked to be which anthem.
Impact, and the hits keep coming. Haven't you heard? This is the new you. Like a wound left in the open air, it's the feeling of living concussed. You're left feeling always kind of sore, kind of raw. Your mind is metal wrapped around a telephone pole. Your heart is a car horn blaring under a limp body. Panic rises in your chest and sits in your throat. It will all be alright. Impact. And the hits keep coming. Your soul is a windshield whose shards are scattered to the pavement, body like smoke hanging in air, a resonance by circumstance. I have seen this all before, paint on a wall that is bound to wash off. I keep looking around for the trapdoor, expecting to fall, living in chaos so silent that it's deafening. This is a car crash heart.
Wow, those earlier statistics were pretty sobering. Let's let's take a deep breath and experience a song, Fear is a Liar, by Zach Williams, danced by Mia Edelhart of Sovereign Ballet.
When he told you you're not good enough, when he told you you're not right, when he told you you're not strong enough to put up a good fight, when he told you you're not worthy, when he told you you're not loved, when he told you you're not beautiful, you'll never be enough. Fear is a liar. He will take your breath, stop you in your steps. Fear is a liar. He will rob your rest, steal your happiness, cast your fear in the fire, 'cause fear, he is a liar. told you you were trouble, you'll forever be alone. When he told you you should run away, you'd never find a home. When he told you you were dirty, you should be ashamed. When he told you you could be the one, the grace can never change. Oh, fear is a liar. He will rob your rest, steal your happiness, cast your feet in the fire. 'Cause fear, he is a liar. Let your fire fall and cast out all my fear. Let your fire fall, your love is all I fear. Let your fire fall and cast out all my fear. Let your fire fall, your love is all I feel. Cast your fear in the fire. 'Cause fear, he is a liar. 'Cause fear, he is a liar.
That was beautiful, Mia. Here is a quote that floored Thasia. And those who were seen dancing were thought to be insane by those who couldn't hear the music. Friedrich Nietzsche. At this point, we would ask that you take out your index card of fear, look that fear in the eye. Now rip it up. And toss it in the air. Fear is a liar. It is gone. How fun was that? Next, we will turn our attention to PTSD, post-war, and conflict, the aftermath.
My anger is not for you, not the horse you rode in on. It's not for the lightning, not the tree that dropped it across the road, and it's not for the soldiers who killed and died in the war who still kill and die in my dreams. No. My anger is for the men who start wars in the first place, and for me for believing that any good would come from it. It's for the kid I was who enlisted without a clue about the man the war would make out of me.
I don't remember the reasons we were there, if I ever really knew them. I remember the howl of the wind bringing with them the screams of the children. I remember the crest of the waves carrying the bloated bodies of those who had failed to swim. I remember the night skies filled with the blinding flashes of dropped bombs. I remember the cooling breezes tainted by the pong of decaying people. I remember the sobs of the crowds aboard the hospital ship while their homes burned. I remember the bullets whistling past my ear as we tried to rescue innocents. I don't remember 3 happy thoughts during that 4 months. I do remember my own tears. I do remember my own depression. I remember my teammates fighting not to show their own. I remember so much more than I want, and not at all what I need.
Another sleepless night, and I'm on the internet, looking at pictures of whales who appear to sleep standing up near the surface so they can get air. They sleep only an hour or 2 a night, as long as a ship doesn't hit them, and I wonder what their dreams are about, as I remember that the origin of the term graveyard shift is from the times when the dead would sometimes wake back up inside the coffin. So they would tie a string from their wrist to a bell, and if that bell rang, the worker on the graveyard shift would have to dig them back up from the ground. And I never wonder about his dreams, because I've spent 10 years on the graveyard shift, shovel in hand, digging soldiers and Marines, women and children out of the ground as Afghanistan rang in my ears.
Remember when I worked at the shelter? They stop at my desk, as is required of them. Some having stood out in the weather for over an hour, the sun's heat increasing the discomfort of standing out on a busy thoroughfare at the height of rush hour. It being obvious that they are among the low, the forgettable, the unwashed, the easily just ignored, the losers, the pathetic. You have seen them, the lazy, the unkempt, the unclean, the despicable drunks. You know who them. They are the screw-ups. You know that they could all have better lives if they would get off their no-account asses and get real jobs. But they don't, because all they want to do is get welfare so they can sit in some hole and get drunk all day, or spend their days sitting in the parks scaring the good and decent citizens. What you do know wouldn't light a match. What you don't know would fill a book. I see them as they approach my desk. Most of their stories I know. They are men who no longer fit into the scheme of society. They are the fallen. Of course, there are some men who could get jobs and earn their way in the world, but really would rather have someone else do it for them. Among them are Baby Daddy, who prefers spending at least 6 months in a year in jail over getting a job to pay child support for his 7 children by 7 women. He always wants to bunk in the same room as a collector who will collect anything and everything, even though he has no place to store his collection of collections. I cannot forget the addict, who doesn't have a problem but will try to sell his glasses for any pill that will alter his state of mind. There are many others who fall into that group, but they do not equal the family man, who laid off his good paying job and now works 2 full-time jobs and a part-time job to get his family off the streets. He will make it if he doesn't kill himself with exhaustion first. There is Sarge, a Marine, who out of a sense of loyalty endured 3 tours in a Southeastern Asian jungle. He came home, and some of the people he thought he was fighting for hanged him from a limb in the tree in his own front yard. Now that he has night terrors so bad that he sleeps in 30-minute snatches. He can't see the Navy Cross, 2 Purple Hearts, or the Humanitarian Service Award that he earned because of that war that is still going on in his head that keeps him from the house that his disability paid for. There is the Haunted, another Marine, who spent 15 years thanks to a terrible misdiagnosis, locked in an asylum, and now needs one. He is followed by Mumbles, who will speak to you in the exact same voice and volume he speaks to the voices in his head. These are the men that I see regularly. They are men who don't have better because they won't do better. They are men who have traumatic pasts and now have tragic lives. They live day to day in a constant struggle with their dignity and or the lack thereof. They survive on the streets through application of pride, determination, and sometimes the kindness of strangers. I see them for who they are. I know them for who they are. I was them, and they are us. You can call them anything you want to. You have the right to freedom of speech, but fair warning, if I hear you, there's a very good chance that I will express my own freedom of expression.
It's been great to see you, man. I gotta get a wife's waiting for me. I'll see you later.
In this world, there's more red than sand. Cars in hand, he makes the work straight home. Actually, in 10 minutes, a small space in middle places of confusion. They loosen up the slave. The reality is gripping joy while managing pain and your souls.
So much is left in the aftermath of military service. Fear is a liar and at the crux of every conflict. We thank our service members and their families for their sacrifices. It's time to have Lindsay lighten things up a bit.
Have you ever woken up and your house is just a mess? Like the other day, I folded up my bitterness and resentment and put away all my dashed hopes and dreams into storage. Then unpacked my silliness, bravery, and kindness, which I hear is coming back and totally is season. Then I went downstairs and made myself a cup of motivation, tripped on my ambition, and ended up cleaning up my ego. Then I fed my insecurities, walked and watered myself down, organized my anxieties from A to Z, just to walk down upstairs and wash my guilt. But then, of course, there's that damn spot that just won't come out.
Thank you, Lindsay. Oh, the lives we live. At this point, we must all know someone who has struggled with addiction, which is another causality of fear. A total of 98,268 people died from drug overdoses in 2021, an all-time high. Currently, 71% of preventable opioid deaths occur among those ages 25 to 54. 7 out of 10 preventable opioid overdose death victims are male, 53,992, compared to 21,793 female deaths just in 2021. These facts come to us via the National Safety Council in 2023.
That's for you. Okay, yeah, it doesn't matter. Get your drug one. It's in there. It says Max.
I hate what I see in the mirror. I'm chasing down 80-proof fears with shot glasses of tears. My heart has been aching for years. With all the makeup covering me inside, I feel so ugly. People's words destroy me. My heart aches to see smiling faces of happy people. I'm wondering why joy passes me by. I'm a square peg trying to fit into a round hole, trying to hold two truths untold. Me trying to be good is getting kind of old. It's overrated. My faith is failing. Or maybe I'm failing my faith. Either way, I'm insecure in my fate. I made many mistakes, and I'm still making them.
We tried to talk, but he was itching and kept looking at his watch that he didn't even have on. And he said, he knows we all love him. He knows we all want what's best for him. So does he, until the burn or the itch or the overpowering gotta have it fills his soul. He said he is sorry. He knows he's let everyone down. Maybe he can get help next week or next month. In the meantime, can you borrow 50 or 20, 10? He said, no problem. I get it. I'll just sell my watch. Catch you next time. And he was gone. But so was that watch.
Yeah. He feels the need shredding his mind, unable to defend himself. The hunger devours his soul. He is unprepared for the fight, defenseless, outnumbered, strategically outmatched. He is overrun. He hoists the white flag, helpless, hopeless, unconditional in surrender, lost to the thirst. He must have it, locate, barter, beg, borrow, steal. Just one to appease the demon. He will be all right. Acquire, admire, inhale, ingest, floats. That is all that is required. He is strong again. He does not have a problem. He doesn't need the pills, the drink, the gas, the powder. They just eased away. He has fallen and doesn't even know it yet.
Dr. Goose. Dr. Goose. Okay, whoops.
In the best country in the world, it is hard to conceive these numbers. In our next segment, we discuss relationships. First up, healthy relationships. If we don't love and respect ourselves, we will not be capable of having a mutual loving relationship. Our dear friend Giselle could not be here, but we have arranged for you to enjoy Giselle helping us understand the concept on the screen, and you will be able to hear her easily.
It doesn't happen all at once. It's a little over time. You don't notice it at first, then it's taken your heart. Don't forget who you are. Don't forget who.
We are glad that Giselle offered to share her original message. Now we will delve into good relationships first.
I was thinking this morning about the bowls of the sun and the blank stare of our kitchen clock. Listening to Bob Dylan and wondering if you can ever really, truly be 1-2 mornings 1,000 miles behind. As I am wishing I could swim across the surface of your coffee cup into the light in your eyes as I reach for your hand across the table. Its weight is heavy with everything you bring into our love. It is solid like a mountain, shiny as a new hammer, warm as a star.
I told Bear, I don't know where you came from. All that I knew before you was unkind. And I find that I had become accustomed to less than I deserved, less than I desired. I told him, with you, I am more. I'm permitted and encouraged to be me. And I found myself awakening in the sacred sanctity of bear hugs.
Lindsay and Luchetta would like to share their take on a bad relationship.
Venom doesn't stay in the blood the way that you do, and mistakes, they are smoke damage compared to your fire. So when you say, I'm sorry, you're a tree falling in the woods. You're the bad taste in my mouth. I'm trying to swallow like cheap alcohol or big pills. How can apathy be so powerful, so consuming? How does doing nothing lead to such a big mess? Leave me alone. They're so different, scared. Like a child, you're unaware of the consequences of your actions. Baffled by the world's contempt, you look for scapegoats and reasons. You lay accusations, stretching out your charm like dough. Always coming up a little short and having to retract. I see you. Wave after wave of empty promises and gestures. I am drowning in my own sea of misplaced guilt. I am no match for an ocean churning me like the tide, but it's my own hand that's holding me under. I am afraid. No, I am terrified of myself. You see, that decision seems to be my life's work. When held under the magnifying glass is self-doubt. I want to make you hurt. I want to leave you with a bad taste.
Sounds good.
Broken bottles, once filled with valuable purpose, along with shattered dreams and lost identity. No reconciliation for what was lost and never found. It's like a beautiful garment torn at the seams. What's torn can be stitched back together perfectly. A small part of me is left so empty, void of fond memories. Everyone can recall but me. One moment at a time, until they become hours and days, praying for the phrase for complete healing and to have peace take place, filling the void of once was a father.
To be starving, yet not able to eat. What a conundrum. I didn't know skin could ache. It's one thing to be rejected. It's another to be exiled to a land where loneliness almost seems lethal. I don't think this is a problem for the heart, and the soul has jurisdiction over the mind, so what is left? There is no easy way out of this labyrinth. Too delicate for hungry hands, and too far from the tender ones you so deserve. So how do you close the gap? Time? A persistent yet not always kind friend. So you suffer with a sickness that has no name, Huddled like a junkie and withdrawal, you shake with the name of your fix still on your tongue. Love. Crime of the century, and you don't need to burn because you have been set on fire. The phoenix, delicate at first, must go untouched until all of their feathers grow back. And so you wait, growing feathers, one by one.
I would like to kindly ask everyone to look at their programs. On the back is a number 1 to 5. Did you know that the statistics on domestic violence say that 1 in every 3 women will experience domestic violence? That's staggering. 1 in 3 women and 1 in 5 men report being abused. What number are you? Let's think about how many men would never admit they were being tormented in their own home. It is more than just punches and slaps. Domestic abuse can be constant name-calling, belittling, or the abuser controls all the finances, all transportation, and communication. Now Thasia will share about abuse in a domestic violence marriage and aftermath.
How can you hold me and caress me like a child? Why would you smile across the room, blow me a sweet kiss, and then in the next minute strike me with anger and hate? You tell me that no one could love me like you do, while you hold me down and spit out words of spite in the next minute. You'll never find anyone to love you like I do. His voice echoes in my brain, and my mind retorts, there is a fair and just God. My lips, however, remain silent. I close my eyes and feign sleep, and my heart pounds until I hear his sleep breathing. Then cautiously I slip from bed, sneak to the bathroom to cry. He takes my tears as a reward, and I will not reward him. They keep saying, forget him. It's over. He was always a jerk. He can't hurt you anymore. They keep saying, you'll forget everything in time. Time heals all wounds. Get on with your life. But last night when I turned off the TV and tiptoed down the hall to my room in the dark, the hair on my arms stood up and I felt like you could be in the shadows waiting. I close my eyes. I see your fist. I sit up in his bed, swim up from sleep aware. You could still hurt me if you wanted to. But I'm letting go of holding on. Strip the grip of the caging the past and pasting myself into his version of me. I know deep in my heart I can be amazing if I just fly. Rip away the cocoon of lies and try to be me. Even if it does take a few attempts, I can erase the contempt building within, the sin of accepting far less than I deserve. I must remember I am God's daughter. After 17 years and finally breaking free, like a breaking tape, I found myself writing about endurance and strength, about escaping and standing up. I decided I wanted to help others, to show them the way, to show them the way out, to show them I had made it, and they could also. I had to take it from brain to paper, but first I had to find my voice. I told my story, and I floated my voice like a cape on a windswept night, and I became the crusader.
Thank you, Deja. That is always a wow segment. People often do not realize how often some of the worst societal behaviors are generational. Domestic violence is definitely one of those, often referred to as generational curses. Our wowers will now share from the garden.
Like, you pretend it is this way, and they were. But we want you to live.
She thought her daughter had no idea what her childhood was like. Her mother would throw a salt shaker at her and her siblings if they ate with their mouth open or had their elbows on the table. Away from the table, the closest thing was fair game if they made her mad enough. While homeschooling her daughter, hours of grueling on the same subject, convinced that her daughter just wasn't trying, out of frustration, she threw a pencil right at her daughter, just missing her eye. The daughter yells, "I hate you!" And the mom sent her straight to her room, where she heard a lot of throwing and smashing things. So the mom stomps up the stairs, and she went to knock on the door to address the unruly behavior. She reaches to knock on the door, and she stumbles backwards to her shoulders hit the back of the wall, and she felt like she was falling into an abyss. She slides down the floor, and she puts her hands on her mouth real tautly. And then breathlessly, she listens as the tears escape. Just like at a silent force. She hears her daughter talking on the phone to her boyfriend, and she says, "No, Robbie, I really do hate her. She has no idea what it's like living with her. I can't believe that she sent me to my room for getting so angry. Where does she think I get it from?"
Generational.
5-year-old eyes can't close. Even 5-year-old eyes know that this is not what daddy's.
Sorry.
5-year-old eyes can't close because even 5-year-old eyes know that this is not what daddies do if they're taking care of you. The vision flashed bright in my mind what at 5 I knew was not right at the time. The sight of belt and trousers undone, remembering his lies, and this was no fun. I praise the Lord that this man ran out on us, setting me free from disdain and self-disgust. And as long as I live, it slithers in my head, no matter the truth, to me, he is dead. Because 5-year-old eyes clamped closed. Even 5-year-old eyes know that this is not what daddies do if they are taking care of you.
The secrets of men that I learned from my father. Can't trust a man and tell the truth, lies they throw further. Mentally beating you down, words hurt worse than murder. Spiritual death, worse than physical. Names hurt you, destroys your mental. Sticks and stones break bones, and so does his fist. Childhood nightmares I will never miss. Wishing my memories in the abyss. How he used to mistreat my mother, told her that she was never loved, and after fighting was over, chaos, identities lost. How the household was so cold. Love was scarce, something old. As smiles were worn, which were fake. Kept inquiring minds away. For us, he raised the standards high as we tried to meet them. Getting wearied and tired, raised the bar of perfection just a little bit higher. An obstacle never conquered, requirement never met. Imminent regret and defeat. His anger rarely ceased. I learned a woman was unworthy. A man left her hungry and thirsty for attention, compliments never given. Being a woman was not worth living. Men superior, feared. I learned a father can make his children feel inadequate. Siblings wishing on stars, wishing on magic to take the pain far. I learned when you grow up with so much pain, nothing changes. It stays the same. Your survival all taken in vain. I started to pick men who acted the same. The secrets of men that I learned from my father, raising my sons. I'm trying to make them better. Men, going against the grain of the fabric we were all given, hoping they treat better all of their women. I have true love and strength and positive attention. Now hoping for the one haunting, dirty father secrets delayed, the perfect one to come. Dysfunctional cycle would be broken over and done.
Loss.
Please. Wow. Just wow. We will now be swept away by the song Generations by Sarah Groves, interpreted by Lisa Jo Shreve.
I can taste the fruit of Eve. I'm aware of sickness, death, and disease. The results of her choices are vast. Eve was the first, but she wasn't the last. And if I were honest with myself, had I been standing at that tree, my mouth and my hands would be covered with fruit. Things I shouldn't know and things I shouldn't see. Remind me of this with every decision. Generations will reap what I sow. I can pass on a curse or a blessing to those I will never know. She taught me to fear the serpent. I'm learning to fear myself and all of the things I am capable of in my search for wisdom, acceptance, and wealth. And to say that the devil made me do it is a cop-out and a lie. The devil can't make me do anything when I'm calling on Jesus Christ. Remind me of this with every decision. Generations will reap what I sow. I can pass on a curse or a blessing to those I will never know. Remind me of this with every decision. Generations will reap what I sow. I can pass on a curse or a blessing to those I will never know. Oh, remind me. Generations will reap what I sow. I can pass on a curse or a blessing to those I will never know. Oh, I may never know. He was the first, but she wasn't the last.
Let that sink in. Next, Gerald will explain love.
Love is a variety of feelings, states, and attitudes that range from interpersonal affection, I love my mother, to pleasure, I love ice cream. It can refer to an emotion of a strong attraction and personal attachment. It can also be a virtue representing blah, 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 blah. Love is the lens through which we examine all things. Love is the gauge by which we measure all things. Love is the sea upon which we test our perseverance. Love is the depths to which we yearn to fall. Love is the heights to which we aspire to climb. Love is the bastion wherein which we shelter the precious. Love is the light which guides us to fulfillment. Love is the darkness within which we face our greatest fears. Love is the weight under which we strengthen our resolve. Love is the sheer immensity from atop which we take leaps of faith. Love graces the soul, inspires the spirit. Love steadies the heart, frees the imagination. Love centers the mind. So, look through it and measure with it. Set sail upon it, fall into it, climb up to it, protect with it, be protected by it. Follow it, stand under it, jump from it, be afraid and fight. Fight for it, fight with it. Love is not romantic. Love is a battle, brutal, bloody, and merciless, because love is the one goal we can never reach alone.
Choose.
Gerald, we love that. Something that is not seen is the statistics for homelessness. The most recent count conducted throughout Erie County in January of 2023 identified 688 people in either permanent supportive housing or rapid rehousing programs, 266 people living in emergency shelters, 56 living in transitional housing, 40 people who were unsheltered, and 9 people who were in safe havens. This comes from the single point in time count conducted by the Erie County Continuum of Care through Health and Human Services. Let's go over to the garden to Lucetta and Kathy.
Castles without kings, queens void of meaning are princes, and princesses are left dreaming of clean streets, walking dogs, and white muted princes. Of sunshine days with fewer clouds of rain brought about by consequences. The effects of causes. See, what I think is the devil wrecked our defenses, destroyed our families, chaos in the community, left with a bag of tragedy. Epic sagas, we make poverty look good, wearing Louis Vuitton, Nike, and Prada. Fleeting endings with happy endings. We are conditioned to accept all those lives given. Our identities are eliminated. We are not what we were destined to be. Beings molding us into their liking. Now they spitefully take what belongs to us. That's blasphemous. We are lost, needing to come unto the knowledge of the kings and queens we are. We are as numerous as the stars. Killing may still come even after we see all the stars. The world needs back our kings and queens. Queens' wombs possessing the birth of many dreams. Castles with our kings, our princess and princesses living their lives of ladies.
It's strange that you call me homeless. I may not live within 4 walls. I have no job, little food or money. But out in these streets, we look after each other. A family, so to speak. We share when we can, and we look after each other. There's concern when someone hasn't been around. Yet, there are some that do choose to stick to themselves. However, you You may appear satisfied and content in your house with crippling elephant-sized secrets consuming most of your rooms. A family that rarely engages, sitting in the same room, lured in by different devices. You have plenty of food, but everyone eats at different times or in different rooms, and eye contact is scarce. Sure, it's true. Things are tough for me sometimes, but the streets are my home and my friends are my family. However, is it possible that while it is true that you live in a building with your family, that actually you're the one that's homeless?
Some say war is good for the economy. Some say that poverty is the wheel that spins the poor. Some say that people are no good. Men moan, women groan. Dr. King said, darkness can't put out darkness, only light can. Mother Teresa said, think globally, act locally. Gandhi said, be the change you want to see in the world. I say, what if peace was good for the environment and the economy? I say, what if children had fresh haircuts, warm clothing, and square meals? I say, what if all men and women treated their bodies as temples and blessed each other in passing as reverently as possible? Hey.
Wall of the pit is steep and terrible. The climb is arduous and seems endless. The situation is dire, and I leave parts of me behind. Blood on the wall. From my shredded fingers, my hands, prints, stains of red, added to others old and new. Blood on the wall, making my hold treacherous. Must reach, place, and grip securely. Reach, place, hold. Reach, place, hold. Blood on the wall, running down my arms. Muscles ache with fatigue. Need to ease this inelegant burn. Blood on the wall, an extra weight on my back. The price of the climb. The requirement, payment, dropping back into the pit. Blood on the wall, all for the climb. Must remember where I came from. Climb. Must remember where I am going. Climb. Must not look back down. Climb. Must keep my eyes on the wall. Climb. Must watch my grip. Climb. Must look out for those who are falling. Climb. 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 Blood on the wall is the price of the climb, and I am climbing back out.
Oh, Daryl, that was moving. I was recently reminded there are 3 ways to ultimate success. The first way is to be kind. The second way is to be kind. The third way is to be kind. Mr. Rogers said that. He was so wise. Now Lindsay has a note to self.
Breathe softly now, my darling. You can be you now. Reach forth with the wild authenticity that has been gifted to you. Take up your pen and with the innocence of a child, finger paint your future with your words. Be gentle with yourself, my love. Where others have created wounds, allow yourself to heal. When the bone breaks, it grows back stronger. So take your time, and when you're ready, fly. Run towards your dreams with wild abandon. Allow yourself to be you authentically, unapologetically, and when you're finished, smile, knowing your strength is in your compassion. Compassion for a world whose ugliness can see beauty through your wild and loving heart.
She awakens from slumber, smiles at her husband, and says, I fail to tell you how much I appreciate you in oh so many ways. Then Dad smiles when he sees his daughter walking in the hallway. who turns to her and compliments the outfit that she chose for the day. The daughter then descends down the stairs looking for her brother to say, I know it's your turn, but I'm going to let you sit in the front seat today. And then the brother gets to school and he finds the bully that he always bullies. And he says, I'm sorry that things have been hard at school. Can we start over today? And so that boy, that bullied child, walks to the office and asks for help that day. And because of this, his horrific plans don't come into play. Now think of this as you go on your way and let it ruminate for a while and never, ever underestimate the power of a smile.
She looked really sad as she smiled, and I couldn't quite put my finger on it. She brought our food and asked if we needed condiments. I smiled and said, "You're terrific. How's your day going?" And she teared up and her chin trembled. My granddad just died, and after this shift, I'm taking the bus into Ohio for his funeral tomorrow. So I touched her arm, shared how sorry I was to hear that. She nodded, and as she thanked me, the tears spilled. I left her a $20 tip, hoping it would help her get a bite to eat on the way. And my friend said, "You know, she was just playing you." And I said, "No, and neither do you. It isn't our job to judge. It's our job just to be kind."
I might like coffee too much. It is the ship going off to sea. It is the turnaround lick to a sad bluegrass song. It is the words to a hymn. It is a sermon from my priest. It is the top of the hill, the rock, and the roll. It is all the king's horses, and it is the stuff dreams are made of. Yeah, I might like coffee too much, but I come by it honest. My dad used to take a thermos of coffee to bed with him. When I asked him why, he said, at my age, I know I will wake up in the middle of the night, and I know I will want coffee. Yeah, I might like coffee too much.
Everyone who participated tonight is involved in the arts. Andrew Warner of the U.S. News wrote on this subject, "The Benefits of Arts Education for K-12 Students." While arts programs often fall victim to budget cuts, they can be an important contributor to a student's overall success at school. Arts education can help kids engage with school and reduce stress, develop social, emotional, and interpersonal skills, enrich their experiences, handle constructive criticism, bolster academic achievement, improve focus, and engage with school and reduce stress. Jamie Casper, director of the Arts Education Partnership, says she often hears from other educators that the art programs are one of the main factors that motivate children to come to school. If they don't want to come to school, you're never going to get to them. So why wouldn't you do the thing that makes them want to come to school that also teaches these really great skills?
Brilliant.
Have you forgotten what it feels like to dig ink into the skin of that old notebook, dragging the sadness out of you like heaving sobs from your chest? Now that the tears have dried up, so have the words. You bat me away and say that no one listens to happy poems anyway, but you make poetry out of the winter sky, or in frustration, you have nailed to the wall the hypocrisy of social media crusaders. If words were knives, you would be an assassin, a craft mastered in high school always. Your 14-year-old tongue made boys not like you. If words were fabric, you would wear them like a coronation gown. If they were a disease, you would be infected with it. And some days, my girl, you have to remember to take your medicine.
Yes.
My father blew town with another woman and left my disabled mom, my brother, and I. My friend, who practiced ballet, took me to class, and I saw her mom pointing at me and speaking with the instructor. Later, after class, where I, with no training, had kept up, the teacher told me she was sorry, but I didn't have what it takes. In 6th grade, all my friends played instruments, and back then parents had to pay, and my mother couldn't. Interestingly enough, the band teacher said I didn't have what it takes. I was 26 when I realized they weren't speaking about my talents. They were talking about money.
Yeah. Oh, what I would have given for somebody to believe in me. I wanted to be an artist. Age 12, no one encouraged me. I was told I would never have a job if I wanted to be an artist, and art school was too expensive, and it was a waste of time. I love art. I love poetry. I love how words can paint pictures in the mind, and that same mind, you can use poetry to paint words and pictures and put it on canvas. Art and poetry are my expressions of how I love. I love art. I love poetry. I love kids and art and poetry. I encourage kids to love themselves and their art. Doing so gives them the encouragement to become anything that they want to be. To express their feelings with pen in hand in a journal. To express their feelings on canvas with paint. It's like handing out their own personal set of wings. You'd be amazed of how art, poetry, and words can transform someone. Art and poetry is like an inner love manifesting on the outside.
We just
When they tell you that you're weird, what they mean is that you're too unique. That your special is so bright that it's blinding them. So tell them to put on sunglasses and wear sunscreen. Wear curls in your hair, or better yet, don't. Put on that dress, and for the record, a 3-piece suit makes a perfectly good dress. If it makes you feel good, paint that picture, write that song, perform that poetry. The soulless beg for a sip of what you've got. And if no one has told you yet, you are going to be correct. A great mess, a great screw up, a total disaster, but labels were meant for packages, and you are a person. Do not forget that. It is not going to be easy to walk in your contact boots, but a world full of darkness needs to find its way using your light.
we just saw what
We were all talking one day and realized all of our families had these little gems of wisdom we kept to ourselves. Tonight, we would like to share some family wisdom.
My mom was always very, very busy. So her favorite thing to say before we would leave the house is, "Let's go so we can get back."
What else, Ron? I'm there, yeah.
My parents' wisdom was a hard head makes a soft behind.
My mother went through a lot, and she often said, if it ain't one thing, it's 6.
My mom always would tell me all the time, well, more than she should, needed to, don't let your alligator mouth get your mosquito ass in trouble.
My whiny 2-year-old German grandmother used to say, "Love falls in a pile of shit. That's where it lives."
Okay, this takes some knowledge of the South to understand this. My grandmother used to say, "You don't believe fat meat is greasy, do you?"
That's him. Exactly.
It's fun.
Yeah. I don't think so.
Right up so. That's a cat.
I'm good.
Hey, yes, hey, hey, that's love. Oh, so happy. I mean, because I believe in me, God.
Thanks. It's basically interesting. Thanks, guys. You too. See it.
Hear my voice, hear my dreams. Let us make a world in which I believe. Hear my words, hear my cry. Let me see a change through these eyes. You may think I won't be heard, still I'll raise this hand, spread these words of fire, of hope and desire. Now let them free. Hear my voice, hear my dreams.
Matt Borzon. Lucetta Manis. Kathy Gigi Mitchell. Daryl Brown. And Lindsay Watts. Dancers, Mia Edelhart from Sovereign Ballet, and Lisa Jo Shreve. And our director, producer, and poet, still standing after 12 seasons, Thasia Ann.
And let's not leave out our wonderful narrator for this evening, Cindy Malacher.
Thank you, guys. I hear Mayor Schemmer and his beautiful wife are here tonight. No, didn't make it? Okay. We sincerely thank Bishop Curtis L. Jones and Pastor Vicki Jones of New Life and Spirit Revival Center, Chipper's Seafood and Southern Fusion, and their attentive staff for welcoming us into their space. A huge thank you to Jacob Jones and Cam Media for their presence here this evening, documenting this production. We are very grateful to our sponsors, Chippers, Cam Media, Tipsy Bean, Kim Copy, The Boardroom, there's a lot, they were good, Stempa Design, Metalheads, Out of Abundance Ministries, Full Circle Winery, Panos, Werner's Books, Shelley and Alfonso Chicas, Jacob Jones, and Eastway Lanes. And for help with the flowers, thank you, Ellen Walters. But wait, there's more. We also thank those who donated baskets, City Gallery, author Thasia Ann, Chipper's Seafood and Southern Fusion, various poets, Panos, Kathy Gigi Mitchell. Hang on. Here's more. And we're excited to partner with these agencies: Mercy Center for Women, the Women's Care Center, Women's Services of Meadville, Odessa's Place, the National Alliance of Mental Illness, Family Services, City Mission, Grace House, and the Mental Health Association. Representatives will be available after the performance to answer your questions about what services their agencies have to offer and volunteer opportunities. We invite you to a reception in the next room. Feel free to approach any of these participants or agencies here tonight for more information. And finally, for those of you who are poets or trying to release a poet from within, we will have a follow-up after WOW open mic at Werner's Books at the Liberty Plaza next week, Wednesday the 20th from 6 to 8. We truly hope to see or hear you there. Please leave a comment on the cards out front. Check out our gift baskets. We will announce tonight at 7:45. And please, if you feel so inclined, leave us a tip or donation in our WOW jar. Enjoy our meet and greet, some snacks on us. Thank you from the bottom of our hearts.
Ask them if anybody has a number 6 on the back of their program.
Did anybody get a number 6 on their program?
Oh, you won something.
She assured me they'd call out if they got a number 6.
Yes, we can move now. Everybody enjoy yourself.
Thank you from the bottom of our hearts. 1.